What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Gameball with your host Matson Montilla. Today, joining the show, we have Clemson tight end Will Blackston. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. So to start things off, you just finished summer workouts with Clemson. How did that whole thing go?
It was awesome. Going into my just finished my third summer here at Clemson. It was a grind. We all got better. Taking summer classes, we all came together as a team. When the conditioning gets hard, the weights get heavy. We all had a great time, came together, and get ready for fall camp.
Mm-hmm. So what is something you worked on during the off season during camp?
So last summer, I pulled my hamstring pretty bad, so I wasn't able to lift as heavy as I wanted to. And so having a full healthy summer one, summer two, it was really fun to see how heavy I can go and really push myself and get in some great shape, getting ready into the next week.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And like you said, next week is coming up fall camp. What's the difference between summer workouts and fall camp? What's the main focus of it all?
Yeah, so I would say that, the summer is really getting ready for camp, getting in shape, getting your body right, getting everything prepared to go into the season. Because once camp is here, it's really, straight into week one against Georgia Tech. So, we're running, getting in shape, getting our bodies right physically, getting to the target weight that we want to be at so we can be able to perform. Because camp is, 30 days straight of just, wear and tear on your body, running a lot. And it's just really, summer is really getting ready physically and mentally for, the stretch of the season.
Mm-hmm. So right now, Clemson, they have a new tight end coach with the departure of Tony Elliott went to UVA. Kyle Richardson's now there. How has he been since taking over the role?
I love Coach. He brings definitely a new dynamic. A lot different coaching style, but I've loved both coaches, and he brings a great dynamic. He's really holistically focused. Knows a lot about the run game and the pass game. And I've really enjoyed playing with him and working with him this spring.
Mm-hmm. So with him taking over for the position or the tight end position, he was there for a number of years beforehand. So did you have a somewhat of a relationship with him before him just taking over this new role?
Yeah, he worked in kind of player connections in a different role. So my first meeting at Clemson, he ran it, and so I was in connection with him my whole senior year of high school, asking questions and all that kind of stuff. And then throughout my freshman year, I met with him, I believe, every Wednesday throughout the season, and we did some freshman development and kind of got to know each other and got to know him and what it was going to be like playing college football.
Mm-hmm. And so when Tony Elliott was there, what was he like as a tight end coach to you?
He was a great coach. He was the offensive coordinator at the time, and then that was really neat having the offensive coordinator as your position coach, because he kind of forced us to see everything what was going on, not just the tight end position. So we know what the quarterback was thinking, what the running back was thinking, wide receivers, and so that really kind of brought in the big picture scale, and that really helped us as a unit, I feel like, kind of understand the big picture of what was going on with the offense. And he was a great coach as well. On the field, with the different drills and really trying to work on our route running and pass game. That was a big help too.
So now taking a step back from Clemson and moving to high school. You played high school football. What was those 4 years like for you, and having your dad as the coach? What was that like for you too?
Yeah, so I played 4 years at a BHP high school and started 3 years for varsity. And so my sophomore year, all throughout my football career, I played tight end. And then all throughout my sophomore year, I played tight end. And then my junior year, I got switched. During spring ball, straight to a D-line. I never played a snap of D-line in my entire life. I was probably a little bit undersized, probably 6'1", probably 230. And I did some competitive weightlifting and all that. So I was kind of a little bit stronger. And you know what? He's strong enough. Let's see if he can do it. And had some success. I really enjoyed playing D-line. I was all region, all state, playing D-line my junior and senior year. And that was a lot of fun because that's really all my junior year and all my senior year. And I was like, you know what, this is what I've really gotten good at and enjoyed it. And then I've got recruited as a tight end. So I was a little bit different going from, I played a little bit of tight end my junior and senior year as well. Those fourth and short, third down, I jog in there, play tight end, come back off the field, and get ready for the next defensive series. And playing for my dad was a blessing. I mean, that's every athlete's dream that their dad coaches. I mean, you want to play with your dad and play for him, and that was an awesome time. I mean, he really got me better. He was very humbling because he told me what I needed to hear. I mean, no matter if it was good or bad. And I really think that's how I've gotten to where I am today. Just listen to him and, get me ready for every situation and stuff like that.
So what fueled the transition from going from tight end to playing defensive line? Was it because you said you added more weight through weightlifting, or was there other parts of it too?
So, I mean, playing tight end, I mean, it's just really, I guess I'm more of a finesse position. I mean, I was a little bit lighter, and I was a very good run blocker. During high school, I was kind of put my hand in the dirt, get the first down kind of thing. And then that kind of carried over the D line. So I got stronger. I mean, obviously throughout high school, and I was very quick. So I was like, they put me on the edge, and I beat that. And then, I mean, throughout high school, like I said, I did some competitive weightlifting. So I was stronger than, I mean, I guess most. And I got moved to nose guard. So I played 4-eye and nose guard. And that was a lot of fun, getting big and strong enough to be able to, work with that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Definitely. So you mentioned you were recruited as a tight end. You went to Clemson as a tight end. Did other schools look at you for defense, or was it always just tight end?
Yeah, so it was a little mix. So my first offer was the Citadel, and that was to play offense and play tight end. And then it was like North Greenville, Newberry, Erskine, some of those. And it was really split 50-50. Some schools like, hey, come play D end, nose guard, D tackle. And some schools like, hey, we want you to play tight end. And for the Shrine Bowl, I got picked as a tight end and long snapper. And so I thought that was kind of cool playing tight end my sophomore year, playing majority D line my junior and senior year with a little bit, I'd say probably 15 snaps a game at tight end, junior and senior year, be able to play in the all-star game as a tight end and to be recruited with both that kind of made the decision process a little different. Cause like I'm kind of picking what route I want to go to.
Mm-hmm. So were you surprised in any way that teams wanted you to play tight end? Since you said you played some fourth downs and some third and short, but was it kind of shocking to you that teams were recruiting you to be a tight end after having all that success on defense?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting just because like I've had all this film on playing D line, like I mean, lots of games playing D line, and I only have, I would say maybe 50 plays total my junior year, 60 plays total senior year playing tight end, and then just being like, hey, in the All-Star game, couldn't play tight end, and then getting recruited. Like, so I'd go to camps as both positions. I'd be like, can I do an hour tight end, an hour D line? Or I'd call them like, hey, coach, I'm coming to camp. What do you see me? What would you like me to do? And that was really different. It was like really interesting to be able to, get to ask the coaches like, hey, what do you see me playing? And then like having so little film playing tight end, being able to be acknowledged as that as well. So it was really cool.
So how did the influence of the conversations of teams saying we're recruiting as a tight end, I guess, potentially change your mind of saying, you know what, I might want to play tight end at the next level? Because again, I watched your huddle. I'm sure many people did. You were a phenomenal defensive lineman. So if I was in that position, I'd think, hey, I'm so good at D line, I want to play the next level D line. So did those conversations in any way change your mindset?
Honestly, not really. Like I just kind of based it off of where I wanted to go play college football, and then I kind of would let that figure itself out. So I went all of my official visits, all my visits, and I just kind of filled out the school that I wanted to go to. And then I knew the position thing would figure itself out. Cause I don't like one more than the other. I just, I enjoy playing both of them, and I just want to be able to get into the right school, and then every football would figure itself out.
So you had offers from a handful of teams, like you mentioned, Erskine, North Greenville, I believe Limestone, Citadel, and obviously Clemson came in with the walk-on offer. But when you received that first offer, I don't know what team it was from, but when you received that first offer of saying, hey, we want you to play football for our program, what did that mean to you and for your family to hear that?
It was awesome. It's every serious high school football player's dream to play college football. And it was amazing. It was just a regular practice during the season. We're all just, it was like, I think it was inside period maybe. And I knew Citadel was coming to the school and they came to watch practice. And I was like, it's just another practice day. And then after practice, my dad put me in his office. He was like, hey, the Citadel wants to offer you a scholarship. And I was like completely drawn back. I was like, that's unbelievable. I was thankful. I went to their camp, kind of visit. That was unbelievable. I really enjoyed it. And it was just really kind of knowing like, all right, now I know I can play for more years. I didn't know where I was at yet, but it was just like, this isn't my last season. And that was really a relief. And it was a big blessing.
Was that the moment, or were there other moments, whether it's just being on the football field and you're out matching players, but was there a moment where you're like, yeah, like I know I can play at the next level. This is my big breakthrough. Was there ever a moment that you thought that?
I would say after my junior year, I was like, because I went played D-line and had a really had a successful season. I was really thankful, and I was kind of starting to build that confidence. Like I could really run away with this thing and figure it out. And then as my senior year went on, well, at the end of my junior year, winning all region as a D-line, literally learned the position that summer. Then playing it, that kind of gave me some confidence. And all the credit goes to our coaches. I played that tight end my entire life. They're like, hey, try this, and told me everything. And I had a great D-line coach, defensive coordinator, and really thankful for them. And then just like getting the interest from college, just being like, hey, you can have the opportunity to play in college. And that really was just like really reassuring.
Mhm. So throughout recruitment, people involve their parents, they involve their coaches. Again, your dad, he was your high school coach at BHP. So how important was he even more as being your dad one, and then being your high school coach two? How important was he throughout the whole process?
Yeah, so colleges have their certain like areas that they recruit, and they send the same coaches every year. So my dad knew all those, I guess, recruiters, years and years. And then now it's my turn. He already knows the coaches. And then those same people that came to BHP recruiting for other players and all that are now there. And he can now talk to them about me, and they can ask him questions about me. And I just felt like that was really a really good process, because I'm sure they knew that he would, tell it to them straight up and everything like that. And so I feel that really that was a big blessing.
Mm-hmm. So Clemson comes around. You went to their camps growing up as a kid. That was something that you're always a part of. Clemson was a big part of football development. So when was the first conversation you had with him where the idea of possibly joining Clemson and playing for them was, again, a possibility?
Yeah, so it was, I believe, near the end of my junior season, beginning of my senior season. Coach Venables at the time was, I guess, BHP's kind of recruiting. He had BHP in his zone, and it was near the end of my junior, beginning of my senior year, and he was like, "Yeah, Will's gonna have the opportunity to be a preferred walk-on here at Clemson," and that was amazing, and I was so super thankful for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that must have been a very special moment, just for hearing that Clemson expressed interest in you. And so you end up deciding to take that as a preferred walk-on and going to Clemson. What was the mindset of it? Because again, Clemson's Clemson. I think that's enough said. But then the other schools, they have the scholarship. You could go on full ride. So what was the process of saying, hey, I'm going to bet on myself and accept this walk-on position?
Yeah, so it's obviously Clemson, and I've been going to camps there my entire life. And I was just, as soon as I heard the news, I was just super blessed. And I knew that Clemson would be a great place where I could develop. And putting football aside, I'm majoring in health science with all the resources that they have and all the facilities. I knew that that's something that could really help me for after football. And then as a football player, develop me and turn me into the player that I needed to be.
So when you made that decision to go to Clemson and make it final, how awesome was that feeling of saying, I'm a Tiger now?
It was super relieving. Being able to play in the Shrine Bowl as the last game of my high school career, and then winning that game, South Carolina won, shout out. And then being able to be like, I still got 4 to 5 more years to play. That was just super relieving, have that whole rest of that year to train and get ready, and just know it wasn't the end, to be able to play 4 or 5 more years at a great university.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I want to bring up about high school specifically is, again, you played football. You mentioned you were a weightlifter. You were also a wrestler. So what led you to want to do those, aside from football, those two other activities of being a wrestler and weightlifting? Why did you decide to do those?
Yeah, so I wrestled my 8th grade year of middle school and was really successful and all that, but I ended up breaking my collarbone, so I kind of put that aside and really fell in love with weightlifting. And growing up and watching all the high school meets and I guess all the former BHP players doing that, and I figured that was something I decided I wanted to do, and so I started training as soon as the football season ended, training to get ready and competing. Um, I was a 4-time All-Region, and I won state my junior year, and that was a highlight of my high school career. Just putting your mind to something, working for it. I mean, as a junior winning state, that's a big deal because that's a 16, 17-year-old competing against an 18, 19-year-old. And that was a really blessing, and I'm thankful for all the coaches that took the time to help me do something. I mean, it's still football related, but that's not like on the field training. That's just in the weight room grinding. And then COVID ended all the senior year stuff. But right before COVID ended, I was able to compete in the Palmetto Power Clean Championship, and I was able to win that. And that was really the last big thing in high school before the, I guess, coming to Clemson. And that was a really big blessing, a lot of fun.
So how do you prepare for weightlifting? How is that something you work on? You just keep constantly trying to add weight, or is there more to it?
Yeah. So my dad has a big, I guess, knowledge coaching weightlifting, coaching football. So he was being able to train me. So I mean, either if it was at home, we're just be able to hang around after school and work out. And then our D-line coach, Coach Kevin Smith, is also our weightlifting coach. And so he, both of them, having them, I mean, they'd be my workout partners. So I didn't have anybody to work out with, and just pour into me and teach me and, just give me where I need to be at. And so, during the season, I was obviously lifting heavy, but the day the high school season ended, it was like, all right, let's train for, I believe it was about 2 months until the meets. And that was a lot of fun doing that. Something to look forward to after the season ended. Like once the season ended, it's not just like waiting for the next season. It's something like, all right, it's go time to get ready for this. And it also paid off being able to still be able to play D-line I'm 6'2", 250 now, like being able to compete at a position where it's kind of, not as big as everyone else.
Mm-hmm. So or a person, I should say, that you went against since you were a kid in multiple sports, those three right there, football, wrestling, and weightlifting, was Will Boggs, and he's now your teammate at Clemson. So what did he mean to you, and having that connection of now your teammates, but always competing with them since I want to say what, 6, 7 years old?
Yeah. So, the Little Bear wrestling camps and competing against him, wrestling throughout entire middle school. And then our dads also coached at opposing high school. So, our dads are great friends, two really great coaches. And then knowing Will, going through the high school recruiting process, going to camps together and all that stuff, and then playing the Shrine Bowl together. And that was a lot of fun being able to have somebody, that I grew up with there, and kind of we both had similar high school careers, and then to be on the same team and be like, hey, we're both coming to Clemson. And that was a really good thing. And he's my roommate now, really great guy, and that was a lot of fun.
So do you guys ever just talk about like, hey, we used to be always against each other, now we're living out our dreams playing at Clemson?
Yeah. So his high school head football coach was our Shrine Bowl coach for that year. And that whole week, we're just like, dude, like I can't believe we've played against each other for 4 years now. And like, dude, like we're on the same team. And then we both decided to come to Clemson. It's like, now we're finally on the same team. And that was pretty cool. Like, because we both went to the same Citadel camp together, and we both kind of went to all these little different camps, and we're just talking about like, oh, we're gonna get offered, like, where are you going to end up, and kind of stuff like that. And like, we're at the same place now, and that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, that is really neat. And in high school, on your defensive line, a notable name was Tyshik Galloway, who was great defensive lineman. What was it like playing alongside him?
It was a lot of fun. He was a great player. So my junior year was his senior year, and he played nose guard. I was a 4-eye, and then and with Bubba Gary, he played the 5 technique. And then having those two great athletes, and then that kind of was like, hey, I got to figure this stuff out because they both wanted to play college football. And I was like, all right, I need to, play on their level. And that really, having those two guys to look up to was, I guess that definitely helped me out in my career. And, they really kind of showed me the way in my junior year. The senior year, I was the only senior D lineman, and I had to be that guy to carry the younger guys along. And that was a really big part of my career, and I'm thankful for it.
Before we talk about a couple moments at Clemson and playing again for Clemson your first and second year there and entering your third, being a walk-on, does that add a different fuel to your fire of, I guess, trying to what's it like? Does it make you want to work harder? What's that whole thing like?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the situation I was coming into, and I knew that it was going to be a little bit different route than everyone else was taking. But I mean, it was just, I mean, everybody's got to do the work, and everybody's got to, practice and do that. So it's just really, I mean, just trying to, do all the right things, watching film, practice, recovery, just really, I mean, just being the same person I was in high school, just working hard and doing whatever's asked of me, really.
So your first year at Clemson, odd year, COVID happened, very different things. I talked to Hunter Helms previously, and he said you guys had to get tested every day that year, it felt like. So entering your COVID that year with COVID, what was it like? How'd you go about your day with that happening?
Yeah, so I mean, our senior years got cut short, obviously, and then throughout the whole period coming to waiting to move in, we were just waiting, like, are we gonna be able to move in on the day we're supposed to? Is it gonna be the same? Are we be able to work out? And then we had to wear masks and everything like that. And it was almost, I'd say, 3 times a week or every day we're getting tested and then waiting for the results, and then all these meetings. And I mean, before every meeting, we're checking our phones, like, did we test positive or negative? Can we come? And and if someone did test positive, trying to figure out who the contacts were, really never knowing who was going to be there or not. And so that added definitely a different element of just we all had to look out for each other, making sure we're all, doing the right thing and not spreading it unnecessarily to where, it could impact the season.
Mm-hmm. And so you were still able to go out there and again have a season. The crowd was a little bit different. Instead of having full packed house, there was, I want to say 19 or 20,000 was the limit. Different. But your first game at home, what was that like for you?
I mean, that was awesome. I mean, be able to, ride around the stadium and then run down the hill for the first time. And that was just, I mean, that was still, regardless, it was still an amazing experience. I mean, just, watching on TV, I mean, hearing about it, everybody telling you how great it's going to be, and then finally experiencing it it was just amazing.
Did you get goosebumps running down the hill for the first time and circling the stadium and all?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was definitely, I never felt anything like it before. I mean, just like I said, you just watch it on TV, and then you kind of see it happen in slow motion around the stadium, all the lights going. Mm-hmm. And then definitely in that cheer, I was like, and on the bus ride over, I was like, this is for real happening right now. That's pretty cool.
So this past season, you got to experience the packed house and the full stadium when you ran down the hill. What's it like compared? Do you every day or every time do you still get the same feeling of what it's like running down the hill?
Oh yeah, I mean, it never gets old of that. I mean, definitely this past season, it being a full stadium was just, I mean, it was crazy. And I definitely say, I mean, never get tired of running down the hill.
So I believe that you got your first action at Clemson against Pittsburgh. I want to say that was your debut. Mm-hmm. Going on the field and getting that first snap and feel of college football, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing just being able to have your number called and jog out there and just be like, I've just played college football. That was definitely just a moment, and then be able to share that with my family after the game. Just how far I've came and from high school, and then be able to play in college was just I've made it, and this is can't wait to see what happens from here throughout my college career.
So this past season, Clemson went 10-3, but a lot of people said it was a very fun season, and a lot of players say it was fun. They enjoyed it. Although some, again, injuries happen, which isn't something you want, but it was the team came together. So being a part of that locker room and being part of that group, how would you describe the year? Was it an exciting year? Did you guys bond more than the first year you were there? What was it like?
I mean, yeah, definitely compared to other seasons, it wasn't the best, but knowing what we knew now, and then we'd go back and say, would you take a 10-3 season? I think everybody would say absolutely with injuries, with COVID, with how all of college football shaped out. I mean, if you would have told us, hey, this is what all happened to you, this is what y'all had to go through, and this is how successful you were, I would say that definitely most everybody would take that. I mean, it was a crazy year. I mean, with injuries, with how the whole season shaped out as a whole. And it definitely brought everybody together, and it gave us that fuel for the summer and then getting ready for the season. I mean, it was definitely a different atmosphere in the facility for sure.
Definitely. And so you played in a few games last year, and you actually contributed in one on special teams. So is that an important element to your game to try and become more versatile? Is doing what the coaches say, and maybe even this summer and this fall, still working with special teams to try and grow as a player?
Yeah, I mean, really doing everything that I can do to make the team better, whether it's special teams, whether it's, I mean, whatever capacity it may be, to be able to make the team better and to make it whatever the best it can be, really. So, I mean, whatever's asked of me, whatever I can do, it's always like, I'm ready, whatever I can do.
Mhm. And so what was the Cheez It Bowl experience like in Orlando with you and the team, again, that bowl experience?
It was awesome. So last year well, I guess my freshman year, going to I believe it was a Sugar Bowl, was crazy because we only had 2 days at the bowl site, the day before the game and then the game. And then this at the Cheez It Bowl, being able to spend an entire week in Orlando and having the full bowl experience was really cool. You know, having practice at another local high school stadium for I believe it was 6 days, and then that whole process leading up to the game was a lot of fun. Then also being able to have some fun. I think we went to Universal and had some really nice meals at some of the local restaurants. That was a lot of fun, being able to have the whole experience and then to win. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what was so you went to university, you guys, do you like roller coasters then? Is that a big thing you enjoy doing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was a lot of fun hanging out with all the guys. And I think we spent the whole day there, and that was a lot of fun.
Mhm, mhm. So looking ahead to this coming season, what do you hope to do, and what are your goals, I guess, as a player entering your third year on the team? What are your goals? What do you hope to accomplish?
You know, just being the best version of myself. I mean, like I said earlier, whatever I can do to make the team better, um, whatever capacity it may be, just to make everybody else better, make the team better in whatever way it may be. That's kind of my thing, um, helping somebody out, in the weight room physically, or like watching film mentally, like whatever it may be, just, to have a good season.
So, Will, do you have any final thoughts you want to give about the team, about Clemson, before anything that you want the audience to know about you and the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a great spring, a great summer, a great finish to it, and just getting ready to go to camp. But I mean, first day of camp's August 3rd, and then once August 3rd's here, I mean, it's go time. And I thought we've had a great spring and summer. We're ready, and I'm looking forward to a great year.
Definitely. Well, I thank you for coming on, Will, and again, Clemson tight end. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.